How's everybody doing? Okay. I'm in my I have like, a living room, my den and my office, and then I have in the back of the house I have my like a second living room, and I have my garden in the back. If I can show you, I'll move this around, and right that window there, that's where my garden is at. Right, and it's a beautiful garden. I have all kinds of plant species there. You see, I'm a Virgo with a decan in Taurus, which explains why everywhere I've lived surrounded by woods and nature, and I've always had my own garden, always. So that's the earthly part of me, and I do like the trees and the earth. So we are still discussing Taurus, and please bear with me because I do have a problem with my tongue. I had surgery and then anesthesia, and it has me so wow. I have to put all kinds of like horse, to just cool it. Drink a little alcohol to numb the tongue because it burns. It burns. Well, anyway, and that affects the taste buds. So please bear with me if I don't sound legible, but I'm going to try very hard to enunciate and alliterate my words because I know that's one thing that many people have said in my videos. I got to be more clear. Another thing that some of you responded to my first Taurus video, that I mentioned that Taurus is spiritual. Yes, and not many astrologers really, really touch on that and really discuss that because that kind of falls under the esoteric astrology, But I think it's important to mention that because, again, the opposite polarity being Scorpio. So, and Scorpio, there's nothing simple about that sign. So don't assume in kind that there's anything simple about the Taurian man. There's nothing simple about him. Not at all. I want you to understand that there's nothing at all simple about this man. This man is quite deliberate in his actions. He knows what he wants. He goes after what he wants. And there's no stopping him at all in getting what he wants. But, he also has a routine about it. He keeps a routine, and it's very difficult to deviate Taurian from his routine. Because then if you do, then this is where you are going towards the path of provoking him and making him upset and unease. And when that happens, then you see another side to the Taurian, which can be a little bit more unbearable to deal with. So understand that there's certain basic rudimentaries that you should know about the Taurian man. One thing that I want to also let you know about him, besides his slow, genuinely gentle, subtle nature, which can really irritate a lot of people because if they don't really understand that this man is like the bull, you have to really understand the bull, and not just the bull, but the cow. Because, we don't have access to a bull. We can be more accessible to a cow than we can to a bull. If you really want to understand the psychology of a Taurus man, you need to study a cow. Go to one of those National Geographic channels. So go to YouTube and put down, herds and cows. And there's a lot of documentary out there, that really discusses in detail the lives and habits and behaviors of cattle. So if you want to be able to understand Mr. Taurus, you have to have an appreciation and a kind of a advanced knowledge of cattle. What makes cattle move? Moo! You can see a cow laying in the dead of heat with the sun beaming, and he's just laying there in the pastures with his tail just flying the mosquitoes out and flipping, And the lion does that too. Remember, the lion is fixed fire, and Taurus is fixed earth. So there's something of a fixity with the fixed signs. There's something that is very routine oriented. So if you want to be able to understand him, you have to understand that he really moves on his own time clock. You can't push him to do anything. You can't push him to follow your plan or to move around your routine. And of course, one thing about the Mr. Taurian man, that if he don't like you, for whatever reason, he's not the type of man that's going to really waste a lot of energy and letting you know it. What he'll do is like Mr. Scorpio, he'll create a vacuum. He'll create a vacuum. And where you feel his absence, even though he's right there in front of you, you feel a cold, ignoring type of indifference where he can just ignore the shit out of you, not even acknowledge that you're there. And you feel it. You know, because there's no such thing as being in a room with a person. And it's really, you can really feel it when there's a third party involved. Let's say, you bring somebody, and you're his friend. You bring somebody that he doesn't know. And of course, even though you don't know the person, the Taurian man will still be cordial and sweet and nice because he's ruled by Venus. So he knows social niceties. When you don't see him being nice or just being silent and just ignoring you, like if you're not even there, yeah, something wrong. He don't like you. He don't like you, something wrong. And the Taurian man will let you know through his behavior. And how does he do it? By ignoring you. Won't even speak to you. Won't even look your way. And you will be made to feel it. Oh, yeah. The Taurian man doesn't, and he's pulling from the opposite polarity, which is Scorpio. So therefore, he knows how to get at you. He can read you. If you look up in YouTube the stars of Aldebaran, which is in the constellation of Taurus, and you get a picture of the constellation, it looks like a bull with two horns, with the star of Aldebaran, which is the red star, right smack in the middle of the horn. Scorpio is a red color, pulling from Mars when it used to be its classical co-ruler before Pluto was discovered in 1930. And in the constellation of Scorpio, the red star, Antares, sits at the tail of the scorpion when you see it in the constellation. And it's kind of like of a coincidence that Taurus has Aldebaran, which is a red star, and Scorpio has Antares, also a red star at the tip of its tail. And they're both opposite to each other. Is that a coincidence? Or does that mean that just like when a matador has a matador has a red flag so he can, provoke the bull, that is the red cloak of Aldebaran. Oh man, I hate it when my batteries die. We're going through a retrograde. I hate when that happens. It's terrible. But I have an afflicted Saturn in my third house, which rules communication, electronics stuff, radio waves, and and Mercury is retrograde. So bear with me if I lose you and it just shuts on me. So I say that to say that there's nothing simple of Taurus. He might appear simple, but trust me when I tell you that there's nothing simple about this man. Nothing simple at all. Okay, now up behind me, because I'm manipulating the light because I'm losing battery time, so it's cutting my lights. You see, I have a painting back here. It's a print, but it's based on a real painting that's worth millions of dollars. One thing about Taurus is that he loves art, drawing from Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, and the goddess of art, because she loves art and she rules art. So Taurus has a, a taste for art, the finest art that you can think, that you can imagine. But he likes mostly contemporary art. Very nice. Very nice. I'm also surrounded by my plants, right? And that's another thing. Mr. Taurus adores plants and adores any expression of nature. Okay? Any expression of nature. I have to manipulate because, like I said, I'm losing light. Okay, so if you are a woman and you want to attract a Taurus man, have plants, beautiful plants. Do not you have flowers, freshly cut flowers. Have paintings or prints that are known by great artists and buy a good expensive frame because it's all about the frame. It's all about the frame and how you frame a picture because that's where the value is. And you do that, well, he'll think you got taste, that you got style. Okay? You have to let him know. Those right here, back here, those are prints from it's about Egypt. These I got in Cairo, and they're beautiful, expensive, but it's all about the print of the frame. So try to appeal to his taste, because he's a classy dude. He's a classy dude. So we're gonna go into more specifics about Mr. Taurus. We're gonna jump right in, and we are going to discuss how to attract a Taurus man. Part 2. Now, if you want to capture a Taurus man, you had better put plenty of perfume and wear clothing that exposes your shoulders, your legs, and back. He loves the sensation of touch. Okay? He is very, very, very impressionable to the senses. And a woman's voice, forget it. He'll die for that. Okay? Now, he secretly loves to pamper you. He loves to do that. He loves to pamper. He likes to kind of like spoil his women. Yeah. He wants to provide for you also. Like kind of like being a good provider. He feels that he can do that he wants to do that. So you know what? Let him do that. And it's not that it's insecure if you're the one that's putting out the money. No. It cuts the romance. Remember, it's never too late for romance. And Mr. Taurus is a romantic. He may not say it. He doesn't feel that he needs to say it. You have to feel it. And there's no way that you're not going to feel it because of what he does for you. He even if he's broke, he will fantasize of giving you whatever you desire materially. But the problem is that he is too contradictory. You see, he won't share his inner thoughts and his inner dreams of trying to provide for you, to care for you, to take care of you, because it's something if he can articulate that. Because if he was able to articulate that, I think women would know where he's coming from. women would know that behind his silence, he really is very feeling inside. He's very feeling inside. He's a very, very considerate man. And he has the ability to really feel this. The problem is that he doesn't express it. He doesn't make a statement through a verbal affirmation that this is how he feels about you. No, he feels more comfortable showing you. But then again, he can be so subtle that you might miss it. And then you have no fucking idea where this man coming from or where you stand with him. But isn't that like Scorpio? Isn't that like Scorpio? The opposite polarity of Taurus. So this man don't ever, in fact, if you ever hear in conversation or if you're in a club or in a meeting, I mean, you know how people be saying, oh, what's your sign? What's your sign? And you hear Taurus, don't play him for a punk. Oh, God, a cow, a slowpoke. Oh, God, he's probably thinks slow. Ugh, nah, not exciting. Boring. Because that's what people sometimes think about Taurus. Because they're so low key. Baby. The opposite sign is Scorpio. I should leave it right there. Right there. I should leave it right there. Let you figure out what that means. Just when you think you know him, though, because it never stops. Just when you think you know him or just got to figure him out, he acts totally differently. He acts totally differently than you expected him to. Because remember, he is a man that functions on routine, right? So when he breaks his routine and does something totally different, yeah, fuck sirens, fuck whistle. No, bring the trombone or the contrabassoon. Trouble's coming. And remember, Scorpio, the opposite. So things with a Taurus is never calm. It just appears that way, but it's never calm. The horns are nicely sharpened in the morning grays before sunrise. The Taurian is looking for action. No, sometimes too much complacency can make someone restless. And there are periods where the Taurian man can go through these phases. And these are Scorpio phases. Now, when we talk about the moon signs, if you guys decide that that's what you want, I'll talk about the moon phases. Okay. Now, he's known from time to time to break his routine, though. Aside from breaking his routine in a major way that's unexpected, that's rare. But what's not rare is that maybe once or twice in 3 or 4 or 5 years, he may switch up his routine. You have to understand that this pulls also from Scorpio, the sign of transformation and regeneration. Even the Taurian man is capable of regenerating, pulling from Scorpio, the sign of regeneration. But it's not something that's going to happen ongoing, but it can happen maybe once every 10 years or every 7 years. It depends on your particular Taurian's time cycle. But there is a time when Taurus goes through a crisis. When you see him going through a major crisis, and it could be a life and death situation with him or the death of someone close to him, a family, when you see a Taurian going through that, understand that he's pulling from the Scorpio, the sign of crisis, and he's going through a Scorpio polarity phase. So Scorpio doesn't stay fixed forever. There are times that when the call of the universe calls, even Mr. Taurus has to change and transform and create a new routine in his life that may include the same people or may not. Might include the same job if he's had 30, 40 years, or it may not. It may die. He might need to get a new job, learn new skills. Every Taurian has to go through a phase of a major change in his life. And that's pulling from the opposite polarity of Scorpio. Okay. But if he falls in love, if he falls in love, you could bet your bottom dollar that he will be breaking his routine more so than the average Taurian. And of course, leave it to a woman to be able to make a man like that lose it all. Like Solomon being tempted by so many women that he was told not to be with, or even David, Joseph. God, I can go on. You know what I'm saying? A woman will always be a game changer. Salute to you, women. He loves music. He likes to think about his dates when he's listening to it, and fantasizes. He loves being romantic, and considers and to consider himself a romantic type. And he can be quite considerate when he's in these phases. Okay, he can be also very sentimental, very emotionally sentimental. And will go through sentimental feelings when he hears a music that he will connect to you. So if you want to get a Taurian man, make sure that you have his favorite music, or you give him such a memorable experience to have some music playing in the background. That every time, like Pablo's dog, ding, 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 when he hears that music, he'll think of you. Telling you, I'm a Virgo with a Taurus that can. And I know what makes us tick. And the Taurian man, you got to get him to his emotions and to his senses. Taurus rules the 5 senses. It is very, very earth. So I want you to understand that, okay? Listen, money doesn't have to be a necessity for him to either be romantic or to show his appreciation towards you. There are many ways that he can do this without having to without having to spend money or display money. Okay? He loves surprising you with holidays and special events and moments that are important to you. Giving you gifts, such as perfumes, flowers, clothes, exotic candies, and love cards that describe the magic of the moment. It's stuff that he lives by. Like Libra, he can be over the top, but also very understated. And the ones that are very understated are the ones that are usually most secure and know what they're doing. He loves nature. He loves trees, forests, rock formations, and enjoys the sounds of nature. He may even spend some time sitting in the porch or in the backyard, just because there's lots of trees and nature. Now, his physical body is also a reflection of nature. Okay, he has a muscular body, either slender, stoic, or lanky. He will have a beautiful, symmetrical body, whether he works out or not. Okay, now he also has a sweet tooth. He has a sweet tooth. Jumping diabetes, by the way, is a Taurus disease. Because if you eat too much sweets, you know what happened, So when people who have diabetes, they may have an afflicted Taurus or Venus in their birth chart. Because Taurus and Venus rules diabetes. Yeah. He would, when he's, courting you, he will be taking you to the best restaurants, to the best places, he will take you to places that you never even thought existed. He can be just so loving. His love of the good life is also very contagious. So if you're someone that has never had anything and you get in contact with the Taurus, or you are going to learn to develop an acquired taste. You have to. You cannot be with this man and not acquire taste. Because this man is all about taste. And it's contagious. Okay? Okay, you will Yeah, yeah. Meeting a man like this is a jackpot. And we run out of time. This is Taurus.